You're tuned in to Shake, Rattle, and Goal, the official podcast of your Springfield Thunderbirds.
Pekka's there on the backhand, scoring the save, rebound in the crease, they score!
Hosted by Matt Baker and Steve Forney. A show that's everything Springfield hockey, with interviews including players, coaches, and staff.
The Springfield Indians repeat as the Calder Cup champions.
Listen to this podcast on all major streaming platforms and wherever you download podcasts.
In his first year at the helm, Kevin McDonald and Drew Bannister have the T-Birds in the Calder Cup Finals.
Watch the podcast on the official Shake, Rattle, and Goal YouTube page at SRG Podcast. And now, here are your hosts, Matt Baker and Steve Forney. And this episode number 15 of Season 3 of the Shake, Rattle, and Goal podcast is proudly brought to you by our friends at the TDS Center for Communication and Social Learning in Amherst. You can visit them at tdsspeech.com. By our friends at the MassCon United Training Center in Agawam, right over the bridge from the Bay there at mcutrainingcenter.com. And by our friends at Landscaping That Fits. Remember, promo code SRG10 gets you 10% off your fertilizer needs the entire year in 2026. Alongside Matt Baker, I am Steve.
Doing well. How are you, Steve?
Just talking briefly, I can't believe you as a Giants fan stayed up all night to watch that Patriots game last night. Here I was thinking I was going to be the tired one, but you're in the same boat.
Yeah, listen, I can give credit to where credit is due, and great football games, and the Patriots looked good. They looked better than I thought.
Yeah, they're rolling. It's fun.
Before I didn't tell you I was going to do this, Steve, but before we get going, can I have a minute here?
Of course.
I need to apologize to you.
Oh.
I'm looking right into my camera, the fans. I try really hard not to jinx anything. I try really hard. I take this role as insignificant or silly as some people might think. I take this serious. The end of last week's show, I said this should be a 6-point weekend, and anything less than 5 points, I'd be disappointed. I take full responsibility for my words. I take full responsibility for any bad
Juju,
any bad vibes that I put on this team. I own this one. I apologize. Look, we'll recap the weekend. In my defense, though, I mean, it made sense.
of course it did. I mean, even the Utica game was like, okay, well, this is easy. And
right. In a nutshell, you're playing the worst team in the league. You got to win that one. You're playing Hartford. You win that one. And you're, 20 seconds away from Lehigh Valley from at least getting that tie. So, in my defense, no, I can't even say that. I take full responsibility. I take full responsibility, and I will. I've never done that before. I've never, expected or said this should be a clean sweep of a weekend. I probably will never do that again.
Hey, no, it's okay to make predictions. That's the beauty of predictions.
I got caught up in the moment. Yeah,
Look,
but I usually just expect you're gonna stumble along the way. I just looking at this lineup, worst team in the league, Hartford, who is the worst team in the division, and they've had your number. So I'm like, you got to win this one. And then it's a specialty jersey night, and the T-Birds always come out and always bring it, and they did. I mean, they did. That was a good game. We'll get into all the games, right? We've talked about it. This has been the theme of this year is sort of how does the game look, win or loss aside.
How does it
look? What's the product? And aside from the last few minutes of that game Saturday, it stings because you're really you had a 2-0 lead. It stings, but it wasn't a bad product. It was competitive.
I think the fans left happy considering the score, which is
right.
Good. I will say, and I'll preface this by saying I do not and have not bet money on the AHL or really the NHL. I don't even know if you can bet on the AHL, but I want you people to know I do not do that.
You can, but
if I was a person who bet on such a thing, I would not put a dime on Springfield one way or another, win or loss, because you just have no idea what team you're going to get on a nightly basis. And we sit here and we think we know what we're talking about. We sound like we know what we're talking about, but at the end of the day, it's almost like we get to these games and I don't know what team I'm getting until 5 to 8 minutes into the game.
You can usually
it's
get
gonna
a
be
read.
this kind of night. You know what I mean?
100%. I had this thought it's like, I've been using the term the Jekyll and Hyde.
Yes.
It's really the Thunderbirds or the Wonderbirds, because you'll wonder where they are.
I like that.
And that was kind of what it was Wednesday in Utica. You're like, I wonder where this team is. And again, I don't know how a 5-1 loss could look good, but this one certainly didn't.
No.
You just had the defense was standing still. They were playing with lead skates. And it was not a good look. And again, this is the frustrating part. I mean, I don't really want to spend too much time talking about it, but I don't know if it's a coach's responsibility at this level to always, I think it is, to always get your team at maximum motivation, right? At maximum focus, night in and night out. That's a tough task. At this level, like, you want it to just come automatic. It should just happen because your young guys are there fighting for a spot to the league. And your old guys, and I use that term lightly, like, I realize everybody on this team is younger than I am. So I'm not.
Yes, they are.
Your veteran guys are there because they truly just love it. So what more motivation do you need? I don't know. I'll say this as a whole, and then we can get into each individual game if you want. On the weekend, Alec Kaskamaki, he looks ready.
Yes, he does.
St. Louis fans, if you're listening, I would not be surprised. I know Stenberg's been up for a while. I know you're getting your guys healthy again. Kaskamaki looks ready. He's looking prime to just start dominating. And hey, I'm happy if you want to leave him here in Springfield.
Sure.
Love watching him play that game. He made a few, I think he had 2 goals on Friday. I don't have the box score pulled up on this window right now, but I think he had 2 goals on Friday. One of them was just a 2-on-1. I'm going to make you two look silly and I'm going to do my thing. And he just right down and beat Garan, top shelf. He looks ready for the call up, and he's playing 2-way hockey too. He's playing in the back check and the forecheck. He's playing 2-way hockey. So St. Louis, get ready for Kaskamaki.
Yeah, it's hard to score a power play goal unassisted. Yeah, and that's exactly what Kaskamaki did on that play in the third period, just right through the 2 guys, and then the ability to stop. Like, I'm amazed that they can go this fast and then stop. And he had like his forward foot just totally hit the brakes and then just flipped it right over Garand. It was unbelievable. The game on Wednesday, really, this is the only thing I have to say about the game on Wednesday, besides the fact that he only had 6 shots through 2 periods, which is putrid. As far as this season has gone and the way that this season has gone, Wednesday was the first game all season that I just shut off. I watched a period and a half. I saw the way that they were playing, another Utica goal, and I said, I have better things to do with my time.
Yeah.
And I just shut it off. So anything that happened after the halfway point of the second period, I did not see because it's a school night and I got stuff to do. So I just abandoned that game completely because that's the case. And then you get 2 days later, and you get a full 60-minute effort, a couple of naps that led to Hartford goals. But other than that, a full 60-minute effort, beginning to end, comebacks and putting the pedal down and doing all the little things that you want to see. And it's like, dude, Jekyll and Hyde, man.
Yeah.
The Wonderbirds, you're just so right, because how can 48 hours one team look so different? And the hard part to me is then you get to Lehigh Valley and it looked nothing like Utica, and it looked nothing like the Hartford game. It
Yeah.
was right in the middle where they played okay, but then they kind of fell asleep, but then they kind of played okay again, and then they kind of fell asleep, and then the third period rolls around, and that's the period you guys score the most goals, so you feel confident about it. And they spent the entire period in their own zone, and they just left Romanov hanging time and time again. And you just, like I was saying, it was about 7 minutes left in the game, and I said, "This isn't going to end well. This is not going to end well." And I talked last week about how do you drag teams to overtime. They were whatever it was, 17 seconds short, whatever the time was to get 1 point against a team ahead of you in the standings. They couldn't do it. And there are so many, I've talked, I don't know what it was. So I teach in the Westfield school system, and Westfield that night had the Westfield High School band. They had Westfield Intermediate School. So I've had maybe 5 or 6 people come up to me, and I'll be like, "Man, that was so fun Saturday night, but what the hell?" You know what I mean? They're all like, what the hell happened at the end of that? And I'm like, this is the year, man. This is sort of what it is. And I just the inability to get it out of the zone, the belief that if I just flip it up, it'll get out of the zone, and it doesn't. And it's like you need to be really strong and confident when you're getting it out of your own zone. And if you're not, it can really come back to kill you. And that was the entire third period was I can get this puck out, and then you fling it off the boards, and then they catch it and they keep it in the zone. And now you got exhausted legs on the ice while they're getting the line changes, and it just never stopped. It was constant. And that was a tough way to end it, but it didn't bother me so much because I kind of saw it coming.
Yeah.
I was mentally prepared for it.
I think to go back to the Hartford game a little bit, and you're right, like you're up 2-0, then you're down 4-2, but if you're watching again that Thunderbird Wonderbird part of it, like Utica, you were wondering where's this team? Like there wasn't that glimpse of, all right, I can hang. Hey, if they can do this for 20 minutes, there's enough to come back in the game. Like there was just nothing. It was flat. It was dead. I don't like that. In Hartford, even when it was 4-2, after giving up 4 straight goals, I think, or was it? I know it was 3-2. Did they
it was
tie
4
straight?
straight.
4 straight, right? So it was 4-2, and then you rattle off your 5 in a row. But like you saw the Thunderbirds, you saw energy, you saw fight, you saw grit, and so that's also what I'm confused about is, what buttons. I mean, there is a responsibility of a coach. Coaching does matter, and I can't make sense of it where, okay, why Konowalchuk is pressing the right buttons Friday, where are they Wednesday? Like, is it just player? I don't, again, and this is where not playing hockey and anywhere close to an age, anywhere out of my driveway as a kid, how do players just tune it out? Do they just in the locker room say, hey guys, let's just get home safely today? Like, I don't know. Because it doesn't make sense to me. And then that Lehigh Valley game, I'll say this, and this might be a first here on SRG. I got to criticize Pekka a little bit because he had some really undisciplined, uncharacteristic turnovers right at the blue line that didn't directly lead to goals, but didn't help his team out, didn't help his goaltender out at all. And we've actually seen that kind of. Are
you talking the offensive zone or the defensive zone? Like his
in
turnovers.
His D zone trying to,
gotcha.
in his D zone trying to get it into the neutral zone. And just again, uncharacteristic, undisciplined, unfocused turnovers. I feel like there were 2 or 3 from Pekka on Saturday. And I don't want to make it sound like that happens on a nightly basis, but I do think we've seen that a few times from him this year. And, you can always count on Pekka for those late game heroics. He's still someone I have trust and confidence in. And if it's a big penalty kill, I want him on the ice. If it's a big power play, 100%, I want him on the ice. But I don't know. Again, it's not like those turnovers have directly led to goals, but it's all when you talk about those last 7 minutes of the game and you're like, I just got a feel for it. Part of that was, I think he had 2, again, big turnovers late. And I wonder, I have no, direct information for this, but Romanov took that puck right off his mask.
Yes, he did.
With under a minute to play. He stayed on the ground for a minute. He was on his knee. Is he just letting his teammates catch their breath? Because they were just reacting. They were on skates, no pun intended, right? Like they were just chasing the puck around. Lehigh Valley was moving the puck wherever they wanted. And then 10 seconds later, it's that awful angle shot that he'll save 9 times out of 10. I wonder if he kind of had his bell rung a little bit there, not to excuse it, but I wonder if his ears were ringing a little bit still, which if that's the case though, and players have to recognize that, you got to man up as a defense. You got to get on the ground. You can't allow him to have to face a shot if he's seeing double or his ears are ringing. Like, get in the way of the puck. Let the man breathe for 5 minutes.
No, totally. I will say I get criticized for being a goalie defender. That shot from Anthony Richard was nasty. From that angle, with that speed and that velocity, that thing was a freaking rip, and it was right in a mail slot. I mean, that was a freaking rip. And I was saying that whole game, I'm like, Anthony Richard kills us. This guy always kills us. I haven't seen him. He's not been an impact in this game. Like it's coming. And then boom, there it is. It's the low angle. Bruins fans, that's David Pasternak's wheelhouse, right at the goal line, near post, tucking it under the crossbar, right where mommy hides the cookies, just an absolute laser beam. And so all what that you said is true. I just don't want to take away from the fact that was a freaking rip. And I thought we saw a lot of pretty goals this weekend too. That pass from Wagner between the legs on the power play was just exceptional. One of those goals, all 5 guys in the ice touched the puck, just absolutely magic. But there were times where I find it interesting, and I don't mean to jump around, but I do have terrible ADD. Like it's a positive from the weekend. We have watched time and time again the goalies bail out the forwards and the defense. And okay, well, we're only going to score 1 goal today, so I guess I got to stop everything. We're only going to score 2 goals today, so I guess I got to stop everything. That game on Friday was the first game in a long time where I thought, boy, Zarenko doesn't have it tonight. And what did the team do? They went out and scored 7.
Yeah.
So I like that end of it where they looked around and said, well, look, we got to help out our guy. And that's exactly what they did. And then you go to the next night for Romanov, and I thought he was fine, but there was no push of like that emotional, let's help our goalie out. Let's give this guy a night off. Let's let him shine. Let's get that save percentage up. And I mean, again, they only gave up 23 shots, which is amazing, but you only had 16. I will say that Lehigh Valley team, man, they are big. They are big and they are strong, and that's a different style of game. That is a Sam Bitten type game. That is a Cale Kessie type game. And so I think that they had brought the physicality that was kind of hard to match. Although, I mean, I always know the home games by going to the check of the game. And if the check of the game is kind of weak sauce, like a lot of people will watch the check of the game on the Jumbotron and they're like, that was the check of the game. That's the best they could come up with. No, that's not the best we could come up with. That's the best we were given as a production team. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's funny, just a quick story. So I used to board op the radio broadcast. In the Falcons days, the play-by-play guy was Mike Kelly. And I used to have to, on the radio, play back like the check of the game and the play of the game. And there would be times in the third period where I'd be like, hey, Mike, you go to commercial. I'd be like, Mike, I don't have a check yet. And he'd be like, I'll get you one. And if you're listening on the radio, if you're at the game, it was just maybe a borderline check. But Mike would go, "Oh," and he smashes them into the glass, and I'm like, "Perfect, thank you." And he clipped that, and you play it. Radio, you can hide it. Video, you can't hide it. Your eyes don't lie. And so, if the
I like that.
that was kind of a weak hit. Well, that was literally the best one. So I thought that there's elements to their game that just need a step up, and you need to be able to play Springfield Thunderbirds hockey, whether you're playing against a smaller finesse team or you're playing against a bigger team like Lehigh Valley. You have to be able to still go out and do what you want to do on the ice. And I think that that's one of the things they're having a hard time with, is playing Springfield Thunderbirds hockey and forcing, like we saw in that Providence game where Mougenel got thrown out, forcing the other team to play yours, whatever style it is that you want to play. And if they're bigger and stronger, then you go faster. And if they're faster, then you go bigger and stronger. You do whatever you have to do to make them play your game and sort of impose your will. And I think that that is an area that's kind of lacking right now.
Yeah. Yeah, good point. Great insight. I like that story.
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
Oh, you don't have a check yet? Let me get you one.
Yeah, I'll get you. That's what he used to say. I'll get you one. He used to say, and you had to listen because it was coming. You can't miss it. When it comes, you got to clip it and say, "All right, here's the check of the game."
I will say, I want to run through the roster, run through a few players here. Zach Dean, it was great to see him in the lineup this weekend. I was wrong. He was in multiple games playing fourth line and not at all a liability. I think still kind of getting his feet cold a little bit on the ice, but it's great to see him and excited for as he continues to progress. I got nothing on Akil Thomas. I'm actually getting kind of nervous because now it's back to week. I feel like on their app, at least, he's jumping from day to day, week to week. We know it kind of means hogwash anyway in hockey land, but nothing there.
Real quick,
yeah,
Matt, we need to get you a media credential. Because
please,
I want more information on that. And really, usually the only person interviewing the coach after the game is Ryan. And Ryan's not going to ask because for obvious reasons, he works for the team and blah, blah, blah. So we got to get you a media credential so you can ask about stuff like Akil Thomas and the power play.
Let's make that happen, front office who listen. Let's I'd be happy to. That would be great. Great to see Dylan Dubé on that penalty shot. We've talked about this before when they if they don't win in overtime and they go to penalty shots, you're kind of like, well, I haven't seen a penalty shot goal in a while. So it was great to see Dylan Dubé get that goal. Pretty move, 5-hole. Nice, right? Just kind of put things to bed a little bit, like kind of settle the storm. All right, we're playing Thunderbirds hockey now. Let's go. I thought Dylan Peterson had a strong weekend. Matt Luff continues to do Matt Luff things. Luff's Pups is ecstatic. We have to try to get him on. And talk some Luff's Pups because I don't. What a great year for a what do you call it?
Charity.
Thank you for that charity, and he's doing his thing. I talked about Kaskamaki, St. Louis. Make room for him. If not like now, if he continues to dominate the way he's been playing the last 2 weeks, you're going to need to make room for him. I thought Stuntzel had a good weekend. Wagner, same thing. I'll be honest, moving to the defenseman, and I know you share kind of the sentiment. Theo Lindstein, I think, needs a little breather.
Agreed.
Unfortunately, I don't know, Buchinger got hurt. I don't know the extent of it. Nothing's on there. I literally just checked seconds ago because I didn't want to, misspeak here. But on their app as of Monday night, nothing on Buchinger yet, but they did call up Quentin Burns. And I didn't. Is Zach Berzola a new call up as well? I
have not heard that name. If he's on the roster,
he's on the roster now. So he's a new call up, a new signing as well. Defenseman.
Yeah.
So, calling up Quentin Burns, I'm happy for him, but that kind of lets me think that Buchinger might be out a little while, which isn't good. I think Callie Rosen has been absolutely phenomenal for this team this year. And
just real quick.
Yep.
I was not a big Callie Rosen fan. I agree with you 1,000%. He does a million little things over the course of the game that you're like, boom, smart, real smart, mature, been there. is what I feel from Callie Rosen. He just does 1,000 little things that you're like, oh man, what a play. Like what a nice little thing he just did, whatever it was. He and Skinner have just been really, really, really good on the back end. The rest of the unit, for the most part, I think has been a little Jekyll and Hyde. But those two have been as steady Eddie as it gets. Callie Rosen.
I agree. I think, well, no, with Callie Rosen, I feel like, he obviously was instrumental in the Calder Cup season, right? He gets his season with St. Louis as a lot of veteran players tend to do after a Calder Cup run. You've earned your chance. You get, with the big club. I do kind of feel like, and again, I've never spoken to Callie, and I don't mean this to be offensive or anything, but I wonder if when he then got sent back down to the Thunderbirds, I think there was a little bit of unhappiness. And I don't think it was anything against the Thunderbirds. I just think in his mind, he felt like he should still be in the NHL. He wanted to prove himself, and maybe just the time away from the Thunderbirds over the last few seasons allowed him to be like, all right, this is where I'm at. I might as well just play my game, because he clearly has done that. I did not follow him when he was with Hershey at the beginning of the season. I did not follow him. I think he was out with the Eagles. I think
sounds right.
I have no idea where he was last season. I did not follow him, but coming back here, he's been phenomenal. We talked highly about Marc-Andre Gaudet this year.
He was a little he had a rough weekend. This is probably one of the
it kind of came back to earth a little bit for him, but still,
still
overall, and that happens with players, especially young defensemen where it's only you're only putting 6 guys on your active roster a night, right? So you're bound when you're an every night guy, you're going to have a bad stretch. But I think for Gaudet and his development, does it end after again, I don't think it was an awful weekend, but not where he had been playing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So does he get back to that high level M.A. Gaudet? To me, that's big in his development and progression.
Yeah, and at the same time, you have to realize that it's just like every other sport. The more you play, the more film and preparation opponents can do against you. Yes. So, whether, you like to swing it outside pitches or you have a tendency to throw the ball to the left side of the field, whatever it is, teams will eventually sort of catch up to you. And maybe people are doing a little bit of homework on Marc-Andre Gaudet, which, by the way, would be a compliment to him.
Yeah.
That means people are noticing him. Like, man, this guy's pretty good. We got to be careful here.
He's been hugely impactful for this team. He really has. So I absolutely, like, if I'm looking at, all right, who do I need to study? Who do I need to set trends on? He's one of those defensemen where you're like, we got to figure this guy out. Absolutely.
Well, and think about it, if you're Providence too, you're like, okay, I've seen Hunter Skinner a zillion times. I've seen Callie Rosen 1,000 times. Who is this 45?
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so there is an added emphasis towards those kind of players. But on the back end, I got to be honest, I am starting to get a little concerned because Broberg up in St. Louis now is in concussion protocol, and he got his legs kicked out from underneath him against Mark Stone in Vegas. Yep. And now Bushinger, who that whole sequence was weird. Bushinger got hurt, and then Peterson fought, and the guy he fought well, again, I'm not a doctor, but it looked about as much of a separated shoulder as you're ever going to see. I don't know if you saw the end of that fight. This guy was skating off the ice with his arm up in the air, being held up and not moving it. And I'm like, man, they're going to have to go in the back and smash that thing back into place.
It didn't look good.
It did not look good.
The cameras I was watching
Murchison, I think.
Yeah, the cameras caught him heading down the tunnel, like going through, and you can tell he was holding his arm. I actually rewound it because I was watching it the day after.
Mm-hmm.
That third period I was rewatching, and I'm like, could you see him fall? Like, did he break his arm? The way he was holding it, he clearly wasn't moving it, and he was kind of holding his arm still, and his wrist was kind of dangling a little bit. And I'm like, all right, did he break something in his wrist or his forearm? Bad. I don't know. It didn't look good. And you kind of hate to see that. That's the ugly part of the fighting.
And I will be honest, more back end sort of nerdy stuff. If stuff like that happens and you're sitting at home on Flow Hockey watching our broadcast, we're not showing it again.
Yeah.
We're not showing Butchinger getting hurt. We're not showing the guy separated shoulders. We don't show injuries. This isn't the NFL where we go frame by frame and watching a guy's Achilles snap in half. Like, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
So Yeah, that was a weird play. And yeah, I'm a little, I mean, Bushinger didn't come out for the jersey auction. He was the only one that sort of didn't have his own jersey. So there was clearly something going on there. And I think I personally know, again, no inside information, to look concussion-y, head injury-y to me. So,
I was surprised. Did you hear? It looked like he came in with his elbow. I was expecting the Thunderbirds to go on a power play after that. I know Peterson came in to fought, but was there any conversation with the referees or officials on ice about, hey, did it look like he came in high to you? Was there any of that? Could you catch any of that?
It was definitely a conversation in front of me. Yes. That play was sort of in my blind spot. It was right to the right of me on the glass. And if anybody's ever been down there, if you're in my booth and you try to look into the near corners, you can't see anything because you just have the glass. And so that's definitely my blind spot where I could not see what was going on. I couldn't see any of the fight, to be quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, there was a discussion had, and I don't know what they were talking about. They could have very well been talking about, should Peterson get an extra for being the third man in, or, talking about the hit, but there was a discussion had.
Okay.
And again, when that kind of chaos happens, I don't have a minute to look up at the.
Sure. Yeah.
And we didn't even show the replay. So
no, you didn't show the replay. I just,
you know what I mean?
I rewatched it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wanted to, and it looked like it was a high elbow up to the head. If
it must have been if Peterson stepped in, you know what I mean?
And again, without inside information, he's hurt, concussed. Like, you don't get a concussion unless there's a blow to the head. There's a blow to the head. So, I know the league, AHL and NHL, have been trying to keep a closer eye on that. Do you err on the side of caution if it's a borderline call? You call it to keep the elbows down moving forward. Players know better. I don't know.
And even still, are you going to suspend the guy who went off the ice with his arm like this? It's a separated shoulder. Like, Karma, you're out 2 to 3 months, and then you get a 3-game suspension. Like, I don't think that's going to happen either. So
I agree.
So I don't know. A lot to sort of sift through and unpack. I think we did a good enough job of sort of beating them up for what was it. It's just like I said off the top, it kind of sucks that Hartford game was so good, and it was wrapped around. It was a rose between two thorns. It really was. And it feels like it's the same.
Yeah.
I feel like we've had this conversation. We're on episode 15. I feel like we've had this conversation 10 times.
A lot, right? Look, it's the Thunderbirds, Wonderbirds. I'm going to use that for the rest of the season.
I like that.
And even though, the Utica game was a Wonderbird game, I wonder where they are. The other two games, you can't win them all. You're going to show up and you're going to get outplayed, and you can't win them all. I feel like that was the Lehigh Valley game. They showed up, just didn't win it. You needed an extra 30 seconds to get a point out of it. Who knows what would have happened in overtime? Who knows? But
it just annoys me that they literally just did that against Providence.
Yeah.
Right. Was it Providence? They gave a goal like a minute, 11 seconds left.
It might have even been under that. But yes, I mean, and that's what it is. Like, I want more buttons pushed from a coaching staff. I don't know coaching other adults if that, if you just get tone deaf to that after a while. So coaches are careful doing that. But that's got like, you got to play a 60-minute game. To make a quick little analogy over to football, like, look at the Bears and what they were able to do with the Green Bay Packers. You're down 21-3 at halftime, and there's not one ball of sweat coming off of you. We're not sweating it. We play 60 minutes. We've got a whole nother half to play. And you get that sense that the Thunderbirds don't really have that mentality. They're, what can happen in 15 seconds? Oh, a lot can happen in 15 seconds. A lot.
Yep.
And you gotta, it sounds silly to have to say this when you're breaking down grown men and professionals, but you play to the whistle, you play to the horn, and it stinks that twice they've been bitten by that in less than a month, in 2 weeks' time. So you're clearly not learning from your past mistakes, which is concerning. But,
well,
here we are.
It's just like, we'll get off of it, but Patriots fans forever have said, well, is it Belichick or Brady? And now that time has passed, people are like, yeah, it was like 90% Brady.
Mm.
But look at him now. Does Drake May be Drake May without the culture change that was put in place by Mike Vrabel? And you know what I mean? So it's like, so you do need them both. You know what I mean? And one other thing I just wanted to bring up about the games that I want to bring up every episode, and I keep forgetting. The most fun thing about this team right now to watch are these top 2 penalty killing units. Wagner and Koskamaki, Unit 1, McGing, Stunsel, Unit 2. They are a blast because they fly around their own zone and they always want shorties.
Yeah.
And it is fun to watch them try to set it up to where, okay, I'll get the puck, you go that way, I'll hit you, then I'll try. They like it all. You watch them move, and it's like, oh man, they want to score so bad. Like they just want to score so bad.
Wagner almost had another one.
They got a couple. Wagner almost had another one. So I used to like want to change the channel when they go on the penalty kill, and now I'm like, I want to like, let's go. Like I want to see this in action. So I guess but part of that too, when you have as a successful of a PK as they've had, that mindset kicks in. Like, oh, well, let's not just kill this penalty. Let's go get a goal. And so that's fun. So if you're looking for something fun, that's something I've noticed for about a month that I just keep forgetting to bring up. So there is that. So we do have some fan rants to get to. We have our first, what is it, the semifinal?
No, this is our last first round matchup. Yes, we're in our last first round matchup. Yep.
So we're gonna do that coming up in a little bit. I do just want to say a quick thank you to the fine folks at the TDS Center for Communication and Social Learning, right in the center of Amherst. The founder and owner, Teresa Dooley Smith, along with her husband, Brian, have spent their professional lives dedicated to the children and young adults of Western Mass since 1996. The TDS staff are proud to offer a variety of therapeutic interventions, direct family supports, and consultation services. As innovators in the fields of social programming and social emotional learning, the experienced therapists and staff develop programs to meet your needs. They offer special programs, giving students the opportunities to become entrepreneurs within their own areas of interest. All over the Pioneer Valley, they offer a variety of individual or small group sessions to fit the needs of each individual. For more information, you can visit the website tdsspeech.com, or you can give them a call at 413-835-0735. They are ready to help you. A big thank you to the fine folks at TDS Center for Communication, tdsspeech.com, by our friends at the MassCon United Training Center in Agawam. From beginners to pro, it's the one-stop shop to improve your game with top local trainers and their knowledge, skills, and training to develop programs that will make you a better player no matter your skill level. Small player-to-coach ratios allow them to focus on each individual athlete's needs, whether you're talking soccer, lacrosse, baseball, golf, hockey, floor hockey, field hockey, weight training, agility, birthday parties. Guys, this is a great place for birthday parties. Let the kids go blow off steam and run around for a couple hours. Absolute home run of a good time. 413-301-6040. Just Google them, or you can visit them at mcutrainingcenter.com. And we got to talk about our friends at Landscaping That Fits. SRG 10 gets you 10% off savings for the entire 2026 year on fertilizer. That includes 6 fertilizer treatments. That also has a fall lime, crabgrass preventer, broadleaf weed control, grub control, insect protection, all this other stuff that I know nothing about. Rob does. And the winterizer, I got to be honest, the snow started to melt. I looked outside. The grass is still green. It's like still green. I'm like, how does my lawn still green in January? It is. And it's all thanks to Rob. Visit Rob at Landscaping That Fits, or give him a call at 413-847-0338. If you see Rob on the concourse, tell him what's up. I don't know if you can say SRG 10 to him on the concourse. You probably need to call him. He's going to need more information than that. But yes, definitely hit up Rob at landscapingthatfits.com. And a big thank you to all the fine folks that help us bring you this podcast.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So we have some news to go in our bracket. Our last week's matchup, Colton Ellis against Samuel Montembeau. It wasn't close. I was kind of surprised. It was not close.
We tried so hard to make these matchups silly be close.
Yeah. Ellis wins in kind of a landslide. Again, Montembeau was great. I think, again, and I get it. I completely understand. Colton Ellis was so good last year. So you that taste is still in your mouth. I completely get it. But Colton Ellis wins. He will move on. Our new bracket, and this is our last first round matchup. last on the goalie defensive side. This one is your number 2 seed, Joel Hofer, against your number 7 seed, Josh Brown. And I based on how our other first round matchups have gone, I have a feeling where this one is going to go, but let's not sleep on anyone here. Let me give you a little bit of Josh Brown, defenseman. This was surprising. 160 games played. I did not realize that. 160 games played for Josh Brown. Not a whole lot of production. 7 goals, 19 assists, 26 total points. But with the team for 3 years, this was under the Florida Panthers regime, pre-COVID stuff. So it's been a while. But you talk about a player who was just good. Was just good.
Steady.
And I had to go back and look up some stats and things like that. And again, this isn't, who's made a bigger impact in the NHL. This is who was here for your Thunderbirds, right? But what a NHL career Josh Brown has had as well. So just sort of like that, a steady guy. This does not give, let me see if I could find it real quick. If I could find his career plus minus.
While you look that up, let me just fire a couple more things. A 6th round pick. So a guy that you don't really expect 6th round picks to have the kind of successful career that he's had all the time. Which is great. And the other thing is I know it doesn't show up on the stat sheet as much, but more of a defensive defenseman, a massive hitter, an extremely good fighter. This dude was 6'5", 216 pounds, just an absolute monster. He kind of had a look in his eyes. If you ever look at a picture of him, he just looks like one of those guys that you're like, man, if I saw this guy in a dark alley, I would run. He's got that look to him. I mean that in a positive way, Josh. I'm not saying you're ugly. I'm just saying you look like you'd pound my face in if I looked at you wrong. So yes, he was a little bit more physicality than scoring touch. He was certainly not out there on the power play, but just a big, mean, really nice guy. And weird sort of story here, but I one time in the 10 years that I've been doing this job, I went upstairs to the jersey raffle because the recipient of the money was something. It was like I think it was my buddy's soccer team that he was coaching. And I'm like, you know what? I'll throw a couple dollars in to help the soccer team. I won. And I have a Josh Brown jersey and I swim in it. Cause again, he's 6'5". I've never worn it because it just hangs off of me like Dopey from Snow White. So I actually own a Josh Brown jersey that I won in the jersey raffle. The only time I've ever put money in it. So
nice.
Actually, I did once. I put in for Biaka Batuka and I didn't get it. That was the only other time. But yes,
you loved that. You wanted to call that guy's name a few times. Yeah,
loved him. But I'm a proud owner of a Josh Brown jersey.
There you go. He's kind of the prototype of the player. You're like, this version of the Thunderbirds is missing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right,
I mean,
like you talk
Tyler
about
Tucker.
What is right? Yeah, 100%. So his opponent in this matchup, Joel Hofer. Look, can goalie goal. Enough said. Bobblehead. Enough said. But just some numbers for you for Joel Hofer. 86 games played for your Thunderbirds. A 2.71 goals against average. Absolutely phenomenal. 917 save percentage. Impressively than that is his win-loss. In doing this, really only Charlie Lindgren, in my opinion, has a more impressive win-loss percentage than Hofer does. And Hofer did this over multiple years with multiple versions of the Thunderbirds. But his win-loss record is 45, 29, 13, and 6.
Wow.
So just absolutely phenomenal and dominant, and really everything you wanted in a number 2 goalie, meaning when I spell my starter, I'm not losing much, if anything. And then when he took over as the number 1, just solid. and a guy you can count on every night. And I wouldn't be surprised. Again, this isn't about what they're doing in the NHL, but I wouldn't be surprised if Joel, if not by the end of this season, next season becomes the St. Louis Blues #1 guy, because he's playing well out there. So there you go. Our last round one matchup: Joel Hofer versus Josh Brown.
And Hofer's still making people laugh. I don't know if you saw last week when they were going to go to him. Montembeault wanted to pull Binnington. Binnington basically said no, but the backup goalie, wherever they were, doesn't sit on the bench. He's in. Did you see this at all?
I did see that, and
so he's like behind, like peeking up, like, please don't put me in. Please don't.
Yeah,
put me in. I thought that was hilarious.
Absolutely, the meme of him just kind of like peeking over and looking like.
That was great.
See me? That was perfect.
So he's got a personality on him, and I guess I really should just apologize to Josh Brown, man. I'm sorry. Shouldn't have matched you up like this after checking those numbers for Hofer. But you people vote the way you people want to vote.
Tough matchup. Hey, look, we it couldn't be perfect, but where else would you put him?
And if anybody remembers when the glass shattered on me in my booth, it was Josh Brown absolutely destroying somebody. And hit the glass, and the glass shattered all over me. Oh, my goodness. It's so funny. I keep it right here. This is a piece of the glass from the boards.
Nice.
If you're watching on YouTube, that shattered, landed on me and the late, great Jay Denver in the booth. So, Josh Brown, I still have the glass that you smashed on my head.
There you go. Well done.
Which is funny. We are going to get to Fan Rants, Matt. I know you're going to take a minute to look them up while you're doing that, because I don't want to forget this. I really want to say a big congratulations and thank you to Frank Grimaldi. For anybody who knows Frank, and you can't go to a T-Birds game without knowing Frank. I think he was the head of ticket sales. Sorry if I'm messing that up, Frank. Just one of the more fine people you're ever going to come across in your life. Always smiling, super helpful. Just an incredible person. Always takes amazing care of my family. And I remember in the Falcons days, Frank is an intern. And the guy who's taking over for Frank, I remember when he was an intern. And this is what I'm saying about the Thunderbirds. If you want to get into sports and you're good and you're motivated and you're organized and you know how to be on a team, you need intern with this team. If you're 19 years old, get an internship, because I've watched over 10 years these interns learn and grow and advance. And China Wong is now an NHL photographer, and Peter Bettini is in the NHL, and Ryan Smith's time is going to come any minute now. And up and down the line of guys that have come here, people that have come here, started at the bottom, worked their way through the Thunderbirds, and are either kicking it with the team or even beyond. And so Frank is just another one in that list. Congratulations, buddy. I'm so pumped for your new gig. We're going to miss the heck out of him. And actually, Matt, I got to hook you up with him, because he's going down to Yale. He's running ticket sales at Yale, and he has never really been to New Haven, doesn't know the area, needs a place to live. And I'm like, you know who might know a couple good towns down there?
I got you. Yeah. Absolutely.
So I might give you Frank, his number to give him
great
some
pizza,
suggestions.
New Haven. You're not far. You got Modern. You got Pepe's. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. Absolutely.
Yeah. But he might need a nice community outside of town, and you know that area better than anyone. So
I do.
Frank, I love you, buddy. Thank you for everything you've done for me and the family, and I'm super proud of you. And good luck. You're going to absolutely crush it, man. So anyway,
absolutely. So Fan Rant, first one on my list, Mike, John. I apologize. I will never again say it should be a 6-point weekend.
Boy, they're tough, man. Jeez.
Hey, listen, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. I do. I truly do. I thanks for listening. It made sense in my head. I won't do it again though. So I hope that calms the nerves. But look, in all seriousness,
time out though. Real quick. Mike Clemty. I haven't seen a comment from this guy all season. Have you?
Yeah, there's been one.
It seems like he's few and far between. So he just kind of comes out when he wants to throw a pie in your face. I want to hear your hot takes, Mike. You give us something if you're going to pick on poor Baker over here.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But hey, yeah, it's not the first time I've had pie in my face. So, what are you going to do?
Jason Paninsky, 2 regulation loss the last minute in the last 4 games. Not sure if they were tired or trying to go into overtime and it backfired. That's the kind of thing, like you need to kind of realize, maybe that's the time when you're throwing out guys like Cale Kessie, where you can just say, I need a big body to go in the far corner of the offensive zone and pin the puck against the boards and just kill 35 seconds at a time. And if that's the case, just keep the puck away from your goal, as far away from your goal as you can. I don't care what you're doing with it. Just make sure it stays away from your goal. And I think that's something they have a hard time doing late in games at this point. Still playing way better overall, which is a testament to them. Just need the offensive intensity to continue to improve. I don't even know if it needs to improve. It just needs to be consistent. I mean, I want consistency. I want to know what I'm getting into. That's why I love as I mentioned, the penalty kill. I know exactly what I'm getting from those two top forward lines on the penalty kill every single night. 5-on-5 and the power play, no idea, no clue. So I hear you there, Jason.
Yeah, and you talk about this too, and it's like, right, like claw to overtime. That doesn't mean chase in your D zone, right? Like what that means is play with it through the neutral zone, hide it in the corners, right? Still play offensively, but it's really like your defenseman, right? Like don't jump the blue line, play a little bit more conservative. That's what dragging somebody to overtime means, is that like, you need to play hockey. You can't be chasing in your D zone. And it's like, all right, you just don't take those gambles at your offensive blue line, right? That's how you drag a game to overtime. And that's sort of, as of late, to your point, Jason, is like, all right, well, the last 5 minutes of that Lehigh Valley game, you're just chasing in your D zone. You're just chasing and needing Romanov to take a puck off the face, and then who knows? John, not too upset with Friday. Saturday, I was saying just make it to overtime. Wednesday was a game that they were being lazy with, and that's it, right? Like the Wonderbirds, you can't, if you were Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, if you are Providence and you got off to a hot start, and if you want to play lazy one Wednesday afternoon, one Wednesday night in Utica, what else is there to do? Like, okay, but you put yourself in a position where now you got to climb out of it, and you still are 2 points away from the bottom of your division, Thunderbirds. So you cannot play lazy. Like you can't. You cannot show up lazy. So,
and the other thing,
frustration.
Yeah, and the other thing about that is the two teams that are behind you are both tied. And who do you think in this entire division plays more against each other than Hartford and Bridgeport? They're like a mile down the road. So they're going to keep playing each other, and somebody's going to win and somebody's going to get points. It's not like they're playing Hershey and Charlotte and losing and neither one gets points. They're going to play each other. Somebody's going to win and somebody's going to be chasing you. So you have to keep your foot down. You have to keep your pedal to the metal. In order to stay ahead of those two teams. Our friend Sam says, didn't go to either game. I like to come back on Friday night. Looking forward to April when Sam Bitten comes back to the Thunderdome. I will say, Sam had a nice chat with Sam Bitten electronically
nice.
The other day. He said Happy New Year. He says misses a lot of the folks down here in Springfield. Says I told him I'm glad for all the success he's having, and we had a nice little chit chat. But Sam Bitten still very much on the radar and still an awesome dude.
Yeah.
So there you go, Sam. I'll be sure you'll be happy to hear that.
Matt, Friday and Saturday games, very good. Went to see the Worcester Railers and Florida Everblades play on Sunday. Everblades played well. We have lots of talent sitting there that we could use here. 40 shots on goal. The Everblades won 5-3. Everblades don't take many penalties. I think we need to start sending people down and call players up. I do think, and it's the same thing from the AHL to the NHL. I think the jump is big. It's drastic.
It is.
So I don't necessarily, I think you have to, I'm not saying you're wrong, Matt. I did not watch the game. I'm not saying you're wrong. And box scores and everything that looks great. I don't, it's not an automatic thing to say like, all right, well, Theo Lindstein, go down and go play in Florida, and Quentin Burns, we're calling you up, and Quentin Burns is going to come light it up here. Like that, it doesn't always work that way. The game is a lot faster. It's a lot more physical. You are playing with more adults, and I do think you're more driven at the AHL level, from a internal motivation part of it. And it's the same thing when you go from the AHL to the NHL. It's faster, it's more physical, they're more skilled. So there's a lot going on there. But, at this point, I think as from a front office standpoint, you got to play with your best players, and all of these guys had good looks in the preseason, and it's part of their development, and it's part of their plan too. That's another thing too. GMs at the NHL level, they have these things kind of mapped out, and this is where we want his progression to go. You don't want to rush it. You don't want to hinder somebody's development by bringing them up too early and not playing enough minutes, and but it's good to know there's talent there.
Well, and I think the only thing that can really make that jump, the most seamless option that makes that jump is the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think you could make the ECHL, the AHL jump. We've seen the AHL to the NHL jump a ton of times. And I know at some point you mentioned the coach of the Everblades and the success that he's had. And again, forgive me, I can't even come up with his name, but I think it's a lot easier for a coach and a staff to make that jump than it is for a particular player to do it. And I mean, I love what I've seen from Sam Stang, but it took him a while. I mean, it took Sam Stang a solid 10, 11, 12 games to really find a place, find his footing, get the speed, get the physicality of this game. So, I think I don't think it's that simple, but I think that a message, you could put it that way, a message needs to be sent that some of these guys, look, you need to go down to the ECHL and get your mind right before you come back up. So I don't necessarily hate that idea.
Brad Ralph.
Sounds like a hockey guy.
And you know what too, like, and maybe it's not so much sending guys down to the ECHL, or is it, all right, we're not going to play you in lieu of this ECHL call-up guy. Like, maybe that's what, because there are no roster maximum limitations like there in the AHL.
I think you're just going to frustrate guys if you're like, I'm bringing him up and you go sit on the third floor.
Yeah,
I think you present it as, hey, it's February, want to go to Florida?
Yeah,
it's sunny and there's women there.
Yeah, that's true.
Going to go down there and play first top line minutes, and spend your time on the beach where there's just butts everywhere. Like, that's more interesting to them.
Maybe
anything else. You're talking to 22-year-old kids, so 19-year-old kids. So I don't know. Our friend Lynn Crisati says Hartford was a decent game, especially having a bad one in Utica. Great game, of course, until about 11 seconds into the third. That goal was just a luck shot right in between Georgie's shoulder and the post. I got to be honest, Lynn, I agree with most of what you said there, but that shot was freaking awesome. I mean, call a spade a spade. That shot by Anthony Richard was a freaking BB right in. It was a lucky shot right in between. No. That was where he wanted that thing to go, and he did. Yeah. That was a freaking rip. And, you let them hang around and you let them work in your zone, and that's the result. And you could have done that on the other end. Matt Luff's capable of that shot, but you were 90 feet away from your own goal, or from the opposition goal. So I don't know what to tell you. 90. I don't know how big's the sheet. 120 feet. I don't even know. But either way, you were nowhere near their goal. So that is what it is.
Yep. That's all we got on Fan Rants. That's all we got.
Thank you to Landscaping That Fits for helping us out with that as well.
Yes. Upcoming games, I guess. We've got a lot. We've got a lot. Hopefully you're listening to this Tuesday afternoon. They play in Charlotte tonight, Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday afternoon. Again, another back-to-back stint in Charlotte. Both games are 7:00. Then they are still on the road at Bridgeport on Saturday, January 17th. And then they return home Monday for a MLK Day matinee. Kids take over game.
Yes.
We will be at this one. We will be at this one. We have tickets. This is a 3:05 Monday afternoon game against Wilkes-Barre Scranton.
Best team in the division.
And so, look, this is a tough 4 games. Back-to-back in Charlotte. Team's probably already there. We're recording again Monday night, so team's probably already there. They already had a back-to-back in Charlotte. They played well. They are playing Charlotte really well this year. you talk about the Jekyll and Hyde, the Thunderbird, the Wonderbird. They've been Thunderbirds against Charlotte. So,
well, Charlotte's been a little Wonderbird themselves. They've been kind of all over the place.
So I will say that the team, as of late, has always responded. I would expect them to come out ready to play, especially after the tough loss against Lehigh Valley, the way they lost, the way 12 seconds, whatever it was, 17 seconds away from 1 point and you blow it. I would expect them to come guns a-blazing on Tuesday.
And one other thing, they don't get on the plane often, does Springfield, but I know we're a little farther out and it's New England, things could change, but the weather Wednesday into Thursday, most Thursday into Fridays, kind of sketchy. Not a time I'd want to hop on a plane and fly into Bradley. So keep an eye on that too, because that could impact their arrival time come Thursday or Friday. Thankfully, they don't play on Friday. They do have an extra day, but I don't know. I always think about the flights home and away. So just something else to keep an eye on. Did your boys sign up for anything for Kids Club?
No, we haven't yet. And here's why. It's been so fantastic of an experience, but the team, when Keith sends his thing out, he says, can kids not sign up for things they've done in the past? They've done all the awesome stuff. And
gotcha.
What's left is
not
Tyler
stuff they're interested in.
It's not that they're not interested in it. It's just like, well, I don't want to work the merch desk. I want to watch the game.
Right.
I don't want to. So they're up in the air. They haven't completely committed to any of the jobs. They've worked with you. They've worked with Kevin. They've done what's it called? Up with Ryan, the junior broadcaster stuff. Right. Yeah. So they've done all that and they love the insight and watching the game. So like, I don't know. I kind of like, even the Get Loud crew is cool. It's fun, but I want to be able to watch the game at different vantage points. So I think we'll be there and we'll just kind of enjoy the game and enjoy the kids take over. And I can't speak highly enough, as I always break down that game, of just what it means to me as a dad and our family. It's just been absolutely fantastic.
Same. I mean, my kids will be doing stuff, but the team, again, it graces me with the ability to let my son, this is always first and second period. This all happens.
Yeah.
They let my son be the PA announcer for the third period. I just hope my son realizes how lucky he is to get that opportunity, because as a dad, there's like, I am a puddle when my kid is doing my job right in front of me on the mic. It's just, oh my goodness. It's like everything you've ever asked for. So this is my favorite game of the year because my boy gets to take a shot at doing what daddy does. And that just,
agreed.
Yeah. It's just the greatest thing in the world.
Awesome.
So can't wait. We have, so next episode, we will have basically 4 games to break down. And those are, that's a big 8 points. That could be, we could be 4 points and 4 points and be even Steven. We could be 8 points and in really good shape. We could be 0 points and
not
down in the basement again.
Yeah.
So right where me and Matt are right now, it's in our basements. So, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to circle back next week and see where we're at.
Yes. Yep. I'm making no predictions. I want to see. I want to see 4 Thunderbirds games. That's what I want, and let the win-loss be what it is.
I think you just jinxed the Flow hockey broadcast. Now we're not going to get any games.
Yeah, jeez. Well, no, I mean, I don't give me the Wonderbirds. Give me the Thunderbirds.
Oh,
that's what I mean by that. That's what I meant by that. So yeah, jeez.
Jinx the broadcast.
Yeah,
man.
Now the cable's out. Great, fantastic. No, can't stream.
Oh man, no, for real though. This will be good. I appreciate where we're at. I think this is fun. I'm glad we get to do this. I'm glad people listen. Another successful jersey auction. For me, it's just a weird way where I get to kind of meet all the players, and I don't talk very much to them. Some of them are talkative, some of them aren't. Their professionalism after a game that ends as poorly as it did, they're not out there.
Yeah.
MFing people and swearing and hanging their head. They come out and they're professional about the whole thing and signing autographs. So that's how you got a good group. And that's what we have here. It's a good group of guys. So it was a pleasure to meet all those guys, see those guys again.
Yep.
And thanks to all the fans who participated. Thanks to all the fans who listen and show up. It just means a lot to us. Big thank you to Landscaping That Fits for being such a great sponsor here for this. Again, promo code SRG10. Big thank you to MCU Training Center, mcutrainingcenter.com, the TDS Center for Communication and Social Learning, tdsspeech.com. Big thank you to them letting us bring this broadcast to you.
Absolutely. Thank you, the fans. Thank you for listening. The likes, the follows, the subscribes, keep them coming. Share the episode to a friend. Bring a friend along on board. Comment our bracket, last one of the first round, Joel Hofer, your number 2 seed versus your number 7 seed, Josh Brown. 4 big games, 3 on the road, 1 at home for Kids Takeover. Let's get some dubs here, T-Birds. Let's go, T-Birds.